Hello and welcome to a little video of how to use a scale ruler with the ground plan to do some measuring. You have a measurement assignment to do, so I did up a little sample demo ground plan here that we can use to learn how to do some measurements. So first thing that you need to know is the scale. So it's 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So on your scale ruler, architect scale ruler, that's over here where it's 1/4 inch equals a foot. So you can double check that you've printed off your page correctly. I indicated that this measures out to be 1 foot by 1 foot down here, so I could just line that up to see, that prints off just perfectly. If not, you may need to go back and print off the page again and just make sure that you're not printing it in any sort of scale to fit. You want to print the entire image, the entire file at an 8.5 by 11. Okay, so let's go ahead and start measuring and show how to put dimensions on this thing. So using my scale ruler here, I'm going to come over here and line this up. Let's start with the one over here so you can see. So remember that from 0 over to here, these are your inches, and then these are your feet. So on a 1/4 inch scale, this would be the 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot. So I like to kind of sometimes just remind myself of that by actually even just writing that in there, just to remember, right? What is what, especially when you're dealing with the 1/4 inch scale, because all the other stuff, that's the 92, 88, that's to refer to the 1/8 inch scale, which is not something we want to use today. Okay, so here I'm going to measure this side of the patio. Lining it up here, I can see it's longer than 6 feet. Oh, look at that. It lines up from the 0 right to the 8. That's 8 feet. So I know that that's 8 feet. So how do I write that out? Well, I don't want to just put 8 feet like that, because that's just floating in space. So you use what's known as extension lines and dimension lines. So an extension line is a line that extends from the piece or the object that you're measuring to kind of just pull it away, because you don't want to write it right on top, and you never want to write it right within it as well, or either. So you have the extension lines that extend it out, and then you have the dimension lines, which show to the person that from that point to that point, it's 8 feet. You don't want to be too close because it's a little too cluttered. You want to be maybe 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch out. All right, there we go. That makes sense. So now I can measure the other side over here, and looking at it from this angle here, I can see, well, it's past the 6 feet, but it's not quite the 8 feet. Oh, look at that. It lines up perfectly here to here. That's 7 feet. So I know that that's 7 feet. And again, you want to use the extension and dimension lines. Now, the reason why I'm using a separate ruler, and you can use a triangle or a drafting square or whatever you want, I'm using a separate one rather than using my scale ruler, because if you use this to draw lines on, the graphite on your pencil will get onto the ruler, and then as you move it around, it'll make your drawing very smudgy, and that's not pretty. So there we go, putting those there, little arrows. Now some people don't do the arrows, they do like this kind of format down here, and that's perfectly fine as well, just as long as you know that the measurements from here to here are what you're indicating. All right, so there we go. I've measured those two things, and remember, you're always putting the measurements outside whatever it is that you're drawing. So let's say I have something within here that I need to measure. So let's say I want to do like this door, for example. Well, here's where I would, again, take the measurement again. Let's just line up my image here so that you guys can see what I'm seeing. Let's zoom in here so that we can have a better view of this. Oh, where'd I go, camera? Here we go. If I'm measuring this door, well, all right, from the 0, oh, it's like 2 foot something. So let's move it over to the 2 to the edge there and go this way off into my inches. And I can see that that's 2 foot 3, that's 2 foot 6. Oh, look at that. It's 2 foot 9 inches. See that? Because it's coming to that medium-sized tick right there, which represents a 3 inch mark, right? So that's 2 foot 9. So 2 foot 9 inches. But now, of course, that's floating out in space. Oh, you guys can't really see that. Let's just come back a little bit. So we need to do extension lines out to there. So I'm going to draw an extension line from here up and from here up, pulling it off of my page, and then I can do a dimension line from there, from there to there. Now I know you can't really see that that's actually there, but it is, trust me. There we go. So I know that that door is now 2'9", okay, because that extension line is drawing it away. Here, let's see the window here. Let's line that up in a 1/4 inch scale. Oh, look at that. It lines up perfectly with a 6, so we know that that's 6 feet. So again, I kind of like to use a triangle personally because it gives me that nice right edge or right angle. I don't have one with me today for this demonstration anyway, so I just wanted to show you that you can use a ruler. So there we go, that's 6 feet from there to there. All right, so I'm just kind of going around measuring the whole thing. Let's see if I wanted to do from corner to corner of my wall here. Well, line up to 0. Oh, and I can see that that's not lining up with anything happy. So I know it's more than 12 feet, so let's move the 12 over to the corner and come over to here, my inches. So that's, here I can do a little zoom in here so that you can see exactly what I'm looking at. So I know it's 12 feet at that end, so that would be 3 inches, and that's 6 inches. So look at that, it lines up perfectly with the 12 feet, 6 inches. Now for the purpose of this assignment, I mean, trust me, everything is around either 3 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches. I wasn't evil and did it like, 12'3" or 12'4.5" inches. That's would be too hard to read. So, or 12'5.5" inches. No, round it up to the closest inch there. So 12'6" inches. So again, I want to make sure that I've got right angles coming off as my extension lines, extending it past out to here, and then my dimension lines as well. There we go. So I know that that is 12'6". There we go. So hopefully that's starting to make sense. Here we could do this one over here. Why not? So again, over here, I line up that corner to that corner and get as close as it can. Oh, it looks like it's, well, it's a little less than 10 feet. So if I move to the 9 foot, oh, look at that, it's 9 foot 9 inches. If I come down here, you can see how that lines up with the 9-inch mark right there. That's 9 inches, right? So I can know that that's 9'9". I know that's 9 foot 9 inches. And again, same thing. Draw the lines up like that. So I'm always taking it from the outside corner of my walls. It's a lot easier to know the outside corner. I don't necessarily need to know the inside corner because I know the wall is 3 inches thick. So when you're building it, it's really just go from the outside in. There we go. Go. Perfect. All right, I could do the door opening this way. I can measure from here, and I can see that, look at that, that's 2 foot. Oh, it's the same as the other door. Look at that, 2 foot 9 inches. 2 foot 9 inches. Up like that. Up like that. And making that nice and pretty. Just like that. There we go. So hopefully that's starting to make sense. So your page is going to be kind of cluttered with all this stuff. Just remember, you don't want to put any dimensions on the actual object. You always want to use the extension lines to kind of draw it past. So here, if I was doing the downstage platform, outside corner to outside corner, that's 18. Over there and over here, I can see that that's 18 foot 6. 18 foot 6 inches. And making that right angle coming off of that. Down there. Using those extension lines. And then the dimension lines. There we go. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Now, if I wanted to also measure something that's not the actual object, like let's say I wanted to measure the distance, say from the edge of my apron to the this section here. Or if I wanted to measure the center line, I would take the distance between here and here, divide it in two, and then put the center line where it needs to be using the correct format of a long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash. But let's want to go back to this example here. If I wanted to measure, say, from this position to the downstage edge of the set, well, let me just flip my ruler around so that I can see what I'm doing here. I would see that that lines up, well, it's 6 foot something. Oh, it's 6 foot. Oh, in this case, it is 6'6". Look at that. From there to there, it's 6'6". So I could put 6 foot, flip this around, 6 foot 6 inches. And again, here I don't need the extension lines because I don't need to extend it out to anywhere. But I know from there to there, it's 6 foot 6 inches. There you go. So those are, that's an example of how to do measurements from various things. There we go. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Talk to you later. Bye.